Okay, so tell us a little bit about the Wigwam.
Well, first I need to say welcome to historic Wigwam Village No.2. I'm Keith Stone and I'm one of the owners of this wonderful motel with Megan Smith. So, some history. This was built in 1937, so it's 84 years old. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. And it was a franchise. There were 7 of these Wigwam villages built around the country, and only 3 remain, and this is one of them. The other 2 are on Route 66 in Arizona and California. So you all seen the movie Cars?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm going to say?
Yep.
The Cozy Cone Motel in Cars was based on the one in Arizona. So you'll be sleeping in a little movie history tonight. All right. So this is the oldest that survived. It was also the model or the example for the other 5 in the franchise, but there was a number 1, and the story behind number 1 is sort of interesting, and if it's not, you can tell me to stop. Number 1 was built almost by accident. It was built in Horse Cave, Kentucky, which is 7 miles that way, by Frank Redford in 1935. And what had happened was Frank and his mother had gone on a vacation from Horse Cave to Long Beach, California in 1933. Think about that. 1933, we were in the middle of a depression. But the Redfords had some money. Frank was a businessman and an entrepreneur, and he came from a prosperous family. He worked for the United Fruit Company out of high school, traveled the world, and he loved architecture. So when they get out to Long Beach, California, what does he see but a barbecue hut shaped like a teepee? And it really impressed him. So when he got back to Horse Cave, he did what any good businessman does when he sees a good idea, which is
Copy it.
he stole it. No, he copied it. That's a better way to say it. He purloined it. He paid homage to it. He built a teepee shaped sandwich stand in Horse Cave, and he put a gas pump in front. And it did okay, but by 1935, his customers had convinced him to make it into a motel, because motels were becoming very popular. And the reason for that was they were invented in 1925, but by 1935, people could afford cars. Cars were being mass produced. And maybe even more important, roads were being paved, so you could now go places on your own. This was the beginning of the Great American Road Trip. Before that, you had to go with other people. You had to take a ship, you had to take a train, you could teleport, but now you had a car and you could go with whomever you wanted and whenever you wanted. So he built 6 of his wigwams next to his teepee-shaped sandwich stand. Now, you all know the difference between a teepee and a wigwam?
No.
So a wigwam, and this is important, a wigwam would have been built as a home by Native Americans in the Northeast or the North, and they're dome-shaped structures made out of earth and wood, and they're permanent. You don't move them. The teepees are shaped like these, but they're made out of hide and wood poles, and you could take them down and move them, and they were made by Native Americans in the Great Plains in the West. So one of the goofier things about this place is that he called these wigwams. They actually are shaped like teepees, but they're about as permanent as you can possibly get because they're made out of concrete and steel.
Okay.
Pretty wacky. It did okay back there. It was on 31 East, so there wasn't a very well-traveled road. He looked over here and he saw 31 West. This is the New Dixie Highway, and this was just being built, and it would go from Michigan to Florida. It was the I-65 of its day. It was 24 hours of cars and trucks. It was busier than it is today. The other thing that Frank knew, and that other people in Cave City knew, is that the government was buying land to make a national park. So 6 miles that way, in 1941, Mammoth Cave becomes a national park. Today it gets 500,000 people a year, but in 1937, Frank couldn't have known that it was going to be a great place for a motel. But what he did know is that he had something that no one else had, and to prove it, he got a patent in 1936, he got another one in 1952. Now, he puts a restaurant in we call that the big one, the big teepee over there. He puts a restaurant in there. That closes in the 70s, but it still has the beautiful semicircular countertop that would seat 30 people, or 40 people, depending on how you sat. He also put a souvenir stand in the basement, and he put gas pumps in the front under that beautiful neon sign that will light up tonight because we got it restored. So putting all those businesses in one place was an innovation, and there's been scholarship written about this place and its role in modernizing American road travel. He franchised this after he built it, and that's where you get the other 5. And this is maybe the most magical thing for us, aside from the shapes, and that it's survived so long. They all sort of look the same, and they have a semicircular layout, and that was calculated by Frank, especially for this, the prototype and the oldest, and that was because he wanted to build community and fellowship among his guests. When you got out of your cave at night, when you got into your wigwam, there wasn't much to do. You didn't have a TV, you didn't have an iPhone, maybe you had a BlackBerry, I'm not sure. But people would come down into the center, we call that the bowl, and they would play games, and they would picnic, and they would play on the playground equipment, and they would light fires in the fire pits, and then the weirdest thing would happen. It was really weird. What do you think it was?
They had fun.
Started talking with
Yes,
each
they would
other.
talk to each other in real life. In IRL, people would actually talk to each other. So this social engineering experiment 84 years ago still works today. All those things happened 84 years later. So tonight, if it doesn't rain, I will bring some wood down there and set up a fire in the fire pit. And if you have any evidence, regrets, photographs, memories, things you need to burn tonight, that would be the time to do it. If you have marshmallows, we have skewers for you. So Megan and I bought this in November, and our goal has been to restore it to 1937 and to Frank Redford's vision. We have been working really hard on it because the person who owned it before, an investor, didn't invest a lot of money and it had deteriorated. But people still came, and people still loved it. So we have 11 of these 15 wigwams open, and the good news tonight is that you are in an open one.
All right.
That's great.
The other good news is that the original 1937 furniture has survived, some more original than others. We're working on restoring that. The beautiful graphic tile in the bathroom has largely survived, but we did pull the plastic sinks off the wall because they were dangerous and ugly, and put in sinks that look like 1937, and we spent time researching that, and also lights in the bathroom that look like 1937. Now, they're a little low, so watch your head because people were smaller back then. It's true. We've done some updating. There's a USB charging port in the wall by the chair. There's wireless internet that actually works. The password is, I'm not going to say because then people will steal it.
That's right.
It's capital since 1937 because that's when the internet was invented. Sure. There's flat screen TV, and it plays only shows from 1937.
All right.
All right, cool.
Amos and Andy.
No. Steamboat Willie.
All right.
No, actually it doesn't. And checkout's at 11. You lock your key in the room, and you wave goodbye. If you don't wave goodbye, I charge you more money.
Oh,
It's true.
Okay. As you can see, they've been working on getting it restored. Playground area for the kids, fire pit. It's kind of neat to step back in time a bit. And to see how things were in 1937. The rooms are small. Here's the doorway. These old radiators are beautiful in their workmanship. Look at the detail. That is so neat. So this is what the inside looks like. I'll post a couple of stills of the bathroom. It's kind of cool to see all this furniture. It's the same furniture that they were using in 1937. It's been restored. And here's a picture that was taken in 1940, 3 years after it was built. At that time, the large teepee was a restaurant with the gas pumps out front. It's no longer a restaurant, but they're talking about turning it into a coffee shop. So that'll be kind of neat. They have coffee and pastries right up front. But it's a step back in time, a wonderful place to see a little bit of what America used to look like before the interstate system was put in. This place was taken and built. Were other ones. There are 2 more still in existence, one in California, one out in, I think it's Arizona. And as well as, it was the inspiration for the Cozy Cone Motel in the Pixar movie Cars. Such a cool place to be, and I hope people will stop in. I'm going to do some interviews with different folks to see how they like their stay and what they enjoyed about this little motel. It's great. From what I understand, the owner said that they're actually booking ones for next year already, booking stays. So let's hope this is going to be a great adventure for them and for all their guests. I can't imagine how many people have stayed here and gone by and wish they had stayed here too. So here's some of what we did at the historic Wigwam No.2. All right, we are here with one of the guests at the Wigwam, historic Wigwam 2, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and her stay.
Hi, my name's Debbie. I'm from Illinois, and we actually stayed here when I was a kid in 1975, 76, and I wanted to bring my grandkids back here because it was just something that was just so unique and different and a part of history, and so many things have stayed the same. It's amazing. The interior, they've done a great job keeping it up, and just such a wonderful part of history. So it's nice to be able to share this with my grandkids.
I'm here on my 55th anniversary of the love of my life, Howard Mitchell.
Hi Mona, how are you doing?
Doing great. It's wonderful to be here.
And what brought you folks here?
My anniversary.
Your anniversary? What
I
made
married
you?
him at 16, he was 19, headed to Vietnam.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So had you stayed here before?
No, this is the first time.
First time.
I
All
love
right.
it.
You love it?
Recommend it to other people.
All right.
I'm
And
Virginia Yvette. I'm their daughter.
all right.
And so I came with them on their anniversary trip.
Right.
It's a great place to come for families or to celebrate an anniversary.
All right. Kind of a different way to do it, isn't it?
It's great. It's a step back in time.
Exactly. A place to make memories is how I put it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right.
Hi there, we're from Indiana, and we've been wanting to come here for quite a while, and I'm so glad that they've redone everything, and it was just fun, something that we'll remember always.
Jamie from Orlando, Florida. We're traveling from Orlando to Ann Arbor, Michigan for an art show for my husband, and we stopped just for one night, and instead of staying in a traditional hotel, we really like Route 66, old roadside Americana, neon signs, things like that. So that was why we stopped, and we had an amazing stay. It was even better than I could have ever imagined.
Charity, Indiana.
And I'm Raymond, and I'm from Indiana.
And you came here to the historic Wigwam No.2 for?
Mini vacation.
All right. And how are you enjoying it?
I actually like it a lot. There's a lot of history here. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been looking at wigwams, seeing how they were made. There's a lot of work went into these, like the tiles in the floor. They had to put those in one piece at a time. So I've been looking at a lot of history. And I've always
Craftsmanship.
wanted to stay here. So
All
yeah.
right. Lots of craftsmanship, yes.
So we also brought 2 teenage boys with us, and they're very fond of the Cars movies, and these are the inspiration for the Cozy Cone Motel from the movie Cars.
So they were very excited to stay at that Cozy Cone.
Oh, okay. I hope they don't paint these orange, though. Do you?
No, they won't. But and I don't think you could drive a car in. So
No, no, not at all. Unless it was a little Matchbox car, right?
yeah, but they enjoyed playing soccer. They played with 2 of the boys down there. They had a good time. We did the fire and marshmallows and s'mores, and so they had a good time.
Good, good. Here's their sign lit up at night. We had the neon restored. Kind of makes you think of cars. It's very quiet and peaceful. And they are full up tonight. Everybody's staying in wigwams. Beautiful night. It's about 72 degrees, no rain. Definitely an adventure. Something I think everyone should do. We get so used to staying in places that are modern, we forget that some of these little places along the way are actually places to make memories.